When you think of this man right here, what do you normally think of? Now, it's probably one of three things. It may be the fact that he's married to the most annoying co-host in television history.
LA, it takes a while to warm up. That's not their team. They've been all over the place. It's not like they've been there for decades.
Would you like me to answer your question? Because I'm going to answer it.
Well, I wanted to finish.
Do you love?
Or it may be the fact that he had one of the most savage moments you'll ever see on sports television, so that may be it. Or it may just be that on January 22nd, 2006, Kobe completely owned this man's basketball career. You probably wouldn't even know that when they met in the NBA Finals in 2000, Jalen Rose statistically outplayed him in every category. All that stuff is completely fogged out because on January 22nd, 2006, when they met again, Kobe was seeing red and Jalen Rose was seeing Kobe. In this video, we're talking about some players that I found to have some of the worst luck playing in the NBA. Now, before we get into all that stuff, like I say every video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications. We're less than 30 days away from the start of the NBA season, so you already know I got heat in the kitchen, man. Just make sure you hit that notification, turn on subscribe, and all that great stuff. Without further ado, let's get into this banger.
Hey, and let me ask you one more thing before we go, and I'd be remiss if I didn't, because we got the word on Tuesday night about Derrick Rose. He's going to need surgery again on the right knee. Had you heard that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just heard it, man. It's I was real speechless, man. It's so tough, man, for a guy like that that plays so hard to have to go through it again and again and again, man. And it's just tough, man. I'm gonna just pray for him. I'm gonna hit him up, as soon as I get over here with y'all, man, and just try to keep his spirits high. But it's tough for a guy like that, man, and I just feel bad for him.
Imagine being a hometown hero. You finally make it out of one of the toughest cities in the country. You're repping your city proudly as the #1 pick in the draft, playing for your very own city. You come from Chicago. Everything seems to be great. I mean, you're so damn good. You help your team push the defending champions to a 7-game classic in just your rookie season. You so damn good, you become the youngest player to ever win the Most Valuable Player award at just 22 years old. Derrick Rose had it all, man. And right in the middle of your Hall of Fame trajectory, you tear your ACL in your left knee in the first game of a playoff series. This devastating injury put Rose out for 18 months. And literally 1 month after returning, he completely blows out his other knee and continued the pattern for a few years after that. He really didn't have that much luck on his side, man. Now, as we all know, Rose has had one of the greatest comebacks to me in sports history, completely saving his career now. But who really knows what he could have been, barring those tragic injuries in his younger days? It's just kind of sad to me. Imagine being the guy drafted one spot over the greatest player to ever play your sport, and you're known as one of the biggest busts to ever live. It's pretty sad. Unfortunately, this is pretty much the story of Sam Bowie. He was drafted in the emerging big man era, so back then, it was almost like a no-brainer to take the bigger athlete. I mean, in the draft right before him, 2 centers were the top 2 picks, so you can kind of see where the NBA was going. The Rockets even got the #1 pick in the 1983 and 84 draft, and they drafted 2 centers back-to-back with that #1 pick, so you can kind of see where the NBA was headed. And to kind of back up Portland, they had just drafted Clyde Drexler the year prior, so they were clearly looking for the NBA's next great big, so it kind of made sense. But what didn't make too much sense is the fact that Sam literally missed 2 full years in college with leg injuries, so you would think that that would raise major question marks for a 7-foot center. But to back up Portland again, Sam even admitted that he lied, saying that he felt no pain in those bad legs just so he can take care of his family. I can't really fault the man for that, but I can't fault Portland either. Unfortunately for Sam Bowie, those bad leg injuries just haunted him. In just his second year, he completely broke his leg, and while Mike went on to average 37 points in just his 3rd year, a record that still hasn't been broken, Sam Bowie broke his other leg, and Clyde Drexler even said he saw the bone sticking out. So this man's career really didn't even get a chance to get started. I know he's always going to be known as a bust, especially getting drafted over Michael Jordan, but his career never really got a fair start, so it's kind of hard for him. Unlucky for him, man. I don't know If there's any player that's had worse consistent luck than this man right here.
Ay, yeah. Smoking on that big good low. Remember I was down, never been so low. Now look at me now, yeah, my neck so cold. Cut them niggas off, they will make me broke. Looking at the wall, all I had was hope. Looking at the mall, couldn't shop with no stove.
You probably forgot Brandon Knight was even in the league, man. This man just couldn't catch a break. DeMarcus Cousins was easily on his way to becoming one of the most dominant big men to ever play this game, definitely in my lifetime. Yeah, he had temper problems and he had a bit of an edge to him, but I think that ultimately made him a nastier big, especially in this buddy ass league. These are this man's averages for about a 5-year stretch. These numbers match up with Shaq, Hakeem, David Robinson, any big you want to talk about because he was that great. On January 22nd, 2018, DeMarcus Cousins made history, becoming just the 5th player ever to record 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists in a game. That right there alone shows you where this man was headed. Literally just 4 days later, he tore his Achilles and ultimately lost $100 million plus. I mean, this tragedy kind of forced him to sign with the Warriors for just $5 million, and you would think he would have at least, if anything else, got a free ring, but he hurt his quad, KD tore his Achilles, and they ultimately lost the finals. And just recently, we thought he can create new life for himself in LA with LeBron and Anthony Davis. He was slimming down, everything looked great, and he tore his ACL 2 months before the season started. I mean, in 2 seasons, DeMarcus Cousins will make a little under $9 million a year. Markelle Fultz, who's played 33 empty-ass games total, will make more than that in just this season alone. I feel really bad for Boogie, man, because he was definitely one of the best bigs of this era, and he has no real big payday to show for it. Imagine being the original Shaq and Kobe, having rare chemistry with one of the best bigs to ever play, and truly having nothing to show for it besides a final sweep to a 6th seed in the NBA Finals. If you didn't know by now, I'm talking about Anthony Penny Hardaway, one of the most unlucky players of the 90s. Shaq leaves you for LA and a big payday, gains like 50 pounds of dominance, and establishes one of the greatest duos in NBA history. And meanwhile, for Penny Hardaway, he develops knee injuries that completely destroys his prime, and he pretty much has to watch Shaq and Kobe be what he and Shaq really should have been. I know that had to be hard as hell to watch. Or how about this story? How many of you guys want to be in the NBA, but you're under 6 feet and you don't really think you're growing anymore? It is a tiny sample of players under 6 foot that actually get to play in the NBA and really be successful. Well, with all that being said, imagine being actually under 5'10", getting selected as the last choice in the NBA draft and making something out of it. If you didn't know by now, I'm talking about Isiah Thomas, and this man literally had to fight and claw for every single thing he got. I mean, this man completely worked his ass off, and in 2017, he averaged almost 30 and was in the conversation for MVP at 5 feet 9 inches. I mean, that's just what you call pure heart and determination. But with all that being said, this man actually played through his sister's tragedy, played through a hip injury, and even helped recruit Gordon Hayward to the Celtics, ultimately just for Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving because he got traded. And sadly for him, he never got anywhere near a payday, and he's never really gotten another shot to actually be a starting player in this league. I hate to do this to you again, Markelle, but I just have to. This is Isiah Thomas's career earnings. This will be Markelle's career earnings in about 2 years with a resume barely over yours and mine in the NBA, so that just shows you how Isiah Thomas really didn't get a dime, relatively speaking, in the NBA. I call him unlucky, man, because for a player that sacrificed so much for a sport, and especially a team, I hate that he got treated like that, so that's just that. Imagine being Omir Caspi. You've been in and out of the league for about 10 years now, and you've never even played in a playoff game. Now, of course, he's gotten what looked like an opportunity. He played for the Rockets in 2013 when they made the playoffs, but they didn't play him. Then in 2017, he played for the Warriors, was averaging about 45% from deep, and they cut him, and they went on to win the championship without him. So I feel kind of bad for Caspi. Him and Virgil, it seems like championships were right in front of their face, but they never quite can get it. I don't know. I don't get that. But last and certainly not least, imagine being an NBA star in the 90s, not on Michael Jordan's team. Pretty much, you were born in the wrong era. You had 3 realistic years to win an NBA championship, and only 2 stars really took advantage, and that was Tim Duncan and Hakeem Olajuwon. So if you were a star in the 90s, I'm sorry about that. But that's pretty much the video. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys hit the like button, turn on notifications. If you are new, follow and subscribe to this channel. We're trying to hit 200K by the end of this year, so let's make that happen ASAP. Let's make that happen. If you guys like the video, follow my social media sites, do all that great stuff, guys, and until next time, stay tuned.